Hello there. With the final episode of Obi-Wan Kenobi hitting Disney Plus, it brings us to the closure of the series, which is set during the reign of the Galactic Empire. As Obi-Wan Kenobi embarks on a crucial mission, Kenobi must confront allies turned enemies and face the wrath of the Empire in the 6-episode event of the summer. For the record, there is a chance that this review is going to delve into spoiler territory, so before you carry on with the video, I do highly recommend that you go and check out the full 6-episode event of Obi-Wan Kenobi and then continue on with the review. The show has been a series of hit and miss for many, but for me, that's only partially true, because for the most part, I have absolutely loved this show, and it's reminded me of the reason why I love Star Wars so much. To dive deeper into the review, the, of course, main thing that I love about this series was the main attraction for it in the first place, the return of Ewan McGregor as Obi-Wan Kenobi. And he didn't disappoint in this performance and the show. Thanks to its writers and director Deborah Chow, they delivered a beautiful journey for the character, going from a hopeless, broken, and wounded Jedi survivor post-Revenge of the Sith to a return to form as the Jedi Master. We see him going out of his way to rescue Leia, portrayed excellently by Vivian Laura Blair, who in this series is the vehicle to Obi-Wan's arc and the reason for his journey to have begun in the first place. This series was never ever going to be about exploring live-action recreations of Clone Wars or going deep into flashbacks between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Right from the very beginning, it was very much about Obi-Wan's fragile and broken life post the Mustafar fight between him and Anakin. And for that, it absolutely hit the mark for me, to the point where anything else post that I really enjoyed was just an added bonus, including some of the flashback sequences that we did end up getting. Speaking of bonuses, Reva. I know not everybody loved this character, and unfortunately it did bring out a deeper and more toxic side of the Star Wars fandom thanks to a certain few individuals, but personally, I absolutely loved it, and I loved Moses Ingram's portrayal of the character. The unhinged obsession with Obi-Wan wasn't clear at first, but slowly as we develop through the series, we begin to learn more and more about her past until it's finally revealed in the early moments of Episode 5. And it's a damn well compelling backstory, with a lot of potential only merely touched upon in this series. I'd love to see more of that potential. I'd love to see more of Moses Ingram in Star Wars. I'd love to see more of the character, and I really do hope that one day we can continue on with his story, because again, I think there's a lot left untouched there. Of course, the series, as well as bringing back Ewan McGregor to the Jedi robes, it opened the door for Hayden Christensen's return as both Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader. And what a return it was. That moment in Episode 2 where Obi-Wan discovers Anakin is alive sent chills through my body. While it's of course hard to distinguish which actor exactly is under the costume of Vader in a given scene, Vader in this series was the Vader I have always heard of and the Vader I've always wanted to see. Merciless, rageful, and at the height of his power, and with the modern effects, they could display him as just that. The scene with him ripping through the town, murdering people left, right, and centre to try and draw out Obi-Wan was one of the most intense scenes of the series. And that kicked off many more of the best in the series to come, including the flashback dual training session with Anakin and Obi-Wan, both Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back as their respective characters. And while you could definitely tell that both Ewan and Hayden were very much older by about 20 years or so from the last time we saw them, it didn't hinder my enjoyment of the scene at all. Just seeing Hayden back as Anakin Skywalker in the year 2022 is just pretty wild. Now, Kathleen Kennedy, before this series debuted, promised us the rematch of the century. That was the build and climax of this series, and holy shit did they deliver. The fight was brutal, emotional, and wonderfully shot. After Vader's mask was destroyed and we transitioned from the voice of James Earl Jones to Hayden Christensen, seeing Obi-Wan almost try and reach out to the Anakin he once knew and call to his human nature was one of the best moments in Star Wars history. And what follows is Obi-Wan's realization that the Anakin he once knew is well and truly dead, and the only emotion running through his body is anger, rage, and the desire for revenge. It was just incredible, and ultimately what everything in the series was building up to, and my god did I enjoy it. Oh, and the Palpatine and Liam Neeson Qui-Gon Jinn appearance at the very end of the season finale. It was everything I wanted from this series. Now, with all the epicness aside, the series, as most do, does come with a few flaws. One of the biggest issues in Obi-Wan is how at times it can feel unbalanced and muddled, like its sole and only reason for existing is to get to that final rematch of the century, rather than to explore the broken character of Obi-Wan after Revenge of the Sith. As incredible as the fight was, of course, there's just characters in the show that pretty much suck, like Kumail Nanjiani's wannabe Jedi scammer, and the goons in the earlier episodes that kidnap Leia, which are far too silly to even be funny or take serious, and it leads to a pretty laughable bad moment in the show. An extra script revision or two definitely would not have harmed this series. Other minor issues I had is that the series felt very hit or miss with the pacing. At times, it felt like it was on track and it was set to go to its direction, and at other times, it felt slow and it felt like we weren't exactly moving much. When it missed, it definitely made me feel a little bit empty with the show while I waited for it to return to its former glory. But that's honestly pretty much it. The series reminds me of why I loved Star Wars so much, through its action, its story, its characters and themes. But anyway guys, that's my really quick and really condensed thoughts of Obi-Wan Kenobi. Have you seen the show? I'm sure you have. Let me know down below what you think of it. Rank the episodes if you so desire. That'll be really awesome to read. Thanks so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I'll hopefully see you in my next one. Take it easy. Bye.